ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरपरब्रह्म योगः. So we'll be studying chapter 8 today, which is Akshara Parabrahma Yoga. अर्जुन उवाच किं तद् ब्रह्म किमध्यात्मं किं कर्म पुरुषोत्तम अधिभूतं च किं प्रोक्तम् अधिदैवं किमुच्यते. Padavibhajana for this shloka is Kim Tat Brahma Kim Adhyatmam Kim Karma Purushottama Adhibhutam Cha Kim Proktam Adhidaivam Kim Uchyate. So from shloka 1 to 7 in this chapter, the description is about Brahma, Adhyatma, Karma. So these topics, and then seven then Arjuna asks some questions, and then 8 to 22 is like Bhakti Yoga related knowledge, and then 23 to 28 is like Shukla Krishna Marga, two different paths of how to achieve Parabrahma or Akshara Parabrahma is described in this. The meaning of the first shloka here is Arjuna said, Krishna, what is that Brahma, absolute? What is Adhyatma, which is the spirit? And what is karma or action? What is the Adhibhuta or matter? And what is termed as Adhidaiva, which is divine intelligence? Shloka 2. Adhiyajnah katham kotra देहेऽस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयोऽसि नियतात्मभिः. अधियज्ञः कथं कः अत्र देहे अस्मिन् मधुसूदन प्रयाणकाले च कथं ज्ञेयः असि नियतात्मभिः. So the meaning of shloka 2 is Krishna, who is Adhiyajna here, and how does he dwell in the body, and how are you to be realized at the time of death by those of steadfast mind. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Svabhavodhyatmamuchyate Bhutabhavodbhavakarah Visargah Karma Sanyitah. The split Padavibhajana is almost similar. Meaning of this one is Sri Bhagavan said the supreme indestructible is Brahma. One's own self, the individual soul, is called Adhyatma. The primal resolve of God, Visarga, which brings forth the existence of being, is called Karma or action. Shloka 4. Adhibhutam ksharo bhavaha purushashchadhidaivatam adhiyajnyohamevatra dehe dehabhrutam vara. Adhibhutam ksharaha bhavaha purushaha cha adhiदैवतम adhiyajnah aham eva atra dehe dehabhrutam vara. So in this shloka 4, the Sri Bhagavan is explaining the meaning of adhidaiva, adhiyajna and adhibhuta, the three different concepts. All perishable objects are adhibhuta, right? Anything that is perishing or vinashasila is adhibhuta. The shining purusha or brahma is adhidaiva, right? So Hiranyamaya Purusha is Brahma, who is also called as Adhidaiva. And also in this body, I myself dwelling as the inner witness am Adhiyajna, O Arjuna. So in Sharira Antaryami, the inner witness is called as Adhiyajna here. Shloka 5. Antakale cha mameva Smaran muktva kalevaram yah prayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayah. Antakale cha mam eva smaran mutva kalevaram yah prayati saha madbhavam yati na asti atra samshayah. So the meaning of this one is He who departs from the body thinking of me alone, even at the time of death, attains my state. There is no doubt about that. Shloka 6. यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः. Almost the split Padavibhajana is almost similar. Arjuna, thinking of whatever entity one leaves the body at the time of death, that and that alone one attains, being ever absorbed in its thought. Shloka 7. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मर युध्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैष्यस्य संशयम्. So mam eva eshyasi asamshayam. So that is the meaning here. Eshyasi is like something that we can obtain, right? So shloka 7. Meaning of this is, therefore, Arjuna, think of me at all times and fight. With mind and reason thus set on me, you will doubtless come to me. Shloka 8. अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्. The word split is almost similar. So in Shloka 8, the meaning of this is, Arjuna, he who with his mind disciplined through yoga in the form of practice of meditation and thinking of nothing else is constantly engaged in contemplation of God attains the supremely effulgent divine Purusha, that is God. Shloka 9. Kavim Puranamanushasitaram Anoraniyam Samanusmaredyah Sarvasya Dhataramachintya Rupam Adityavarnam Tamasah Parastat. Tamasaha Parastat. Other than Anoho Aniyamsam Anusmaredyah. Almost similar to the shloka. The meaning of shloka 9 here is, he who contemplates on the all-knowing ageless being, the ruler of all, subtler than the subtle, the universal sustainer, possessing a form beyond human conception, effulgent like the sun and far beyond the darkness of ignorance. Shloka 10. प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्. So the meaning of this one, again, it is very similar here. Bhruvoho madhye pranam aveshya samyak Saha tam param purusham upaiti divyam. The first two lines are also very similar. Having by the power of yoga firmly held the life breath in the space between the two eyebrows, so which is bhruva or madhye, even at the time of death, and then contemplating on God with a steadfast mind full of devotion, he reaches verily that supreme divine Purusha, that is God, who's a realized soul, right? Shloka 11. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yadyatayo vitaragaha yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshye. The meaning of Shloka 11 here is, I shall tell you briefly about the supreme goal, that is via the God, who is the embodiment of truth, knowledge, and bliss, which the knowers of the Veda term as indestructible, which striving recluses free from passion merge into, and desiring which the celibates practice the Brahmacharya. Shloka 12 and 13 are together here. So 12 is Sarvadvarani samyamya मनोहृदि निरुध्य च मूर्ध्न्याधायात्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितो योगधारणाम्. The word split of this is sarvadvarani samyamya manaha hridi nirudhya cha मूर्ध्नि आधाय आत्मनः प्राणम् आस्थितः योगधारणाम्. श्लोक 13. ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन् यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहं स याति परमां गतिम्. Let's see the word split of this also. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yaha prayati tyajan deham saha yati paramam gatim. Murdhni is like Sahasrara, right? So that is in the various chakra. Sahasrara is the Murdhni representation. So the meaning of these two, 12 and 13 together, is having controlled all the senses and firmly holding the mind in the heart, and then drawing the life breath to the head, and thus remaining steadfast in yogic concentration on God. He who leaves the body and departs uttering the one indestructible Brahma, Om, and dwelling on me in my absolute aspect reaches the supreme goal. Shloka 14. अनन्यचेताः सततं यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः. Almost very similar to the four padas. The Padavibhajana is very similar here. The meaning of Shloka 14 is Arjuna, whosoever always and constantly thinks of me with undivided mind, to that yogi ever absorbed in me, I am easily attainable. Shloka 15. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayamashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. Napnuvanti is na apnuvanti. Other than that, they are very similar. Shloka 15 meaning, great souls who have obtained the highest perfection, having come to me, are no more subject to transitory rebirth, which is the abode of sorrow and transient by nature. Shloka 16. Abrahma bhuvanalokaha punaravartinojuna mamupetya tu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Mam upetya. Other than that, it is similar to the padas there. Arjuna, all the worlds from the Brahmaloka, the heavenly realm of the creator Brahma downwards, are liable to birth and rebirth. But, O son of Kunti, on attaining me, there is no rebirth. For while I am beyond time, regions like Brahmaloka, being conditioned by time, are transitory. Shloka 17. सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्तां तेहोरात्रविदो जनाः. Tehoratra is te ahoratravidah. Other than that, it is very similar. Meaning of this is Shloka 17. Those yogis who know from realization Brahma's day as covering 1,000 Mahayugas, and so his night as extending to another 1,000 Mahayugas, know the reality about time. So time is defined into Mahayugas here, like 1,000 Mahayugas is a Brahma's day, and 1,000 Mahayugas is another Brahma's night. So when going forward from the next shlokas, if they talk about day and night, so it is equivalent to 1,000 Mahayugas each, right? So it's not the regular day and night as we experience. It is from the perspective of time or Brahma, right? Kala. Shloka 18. अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवन्त्यः रागमे रात्र्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके. The meaning of this word split is very similar. So, meaning is all embodied beings emanate from the unmanifest, that is the Brahma settled body, at the coming of the cosmic day. So, that was cosmic day versus regular day, right? At the cosmic nightfall, they merge into the same subtle body of the Brahma known as the unmanifest. So, this is the manifest unmanifest cycle of Akshara Parabrahma. Shloka 19. भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यः रागमे. Avashah here is Prakriti Vasha, meaning of that. Aharagame is entrance of the morning again. Meaning of this is Arjuna, this multitude of beings being born again and again is dissolved under compulsion of its nature at the beginning of the cosmic night and rises again at the commencement of the cosmic day. I mean, if we really think deeply about birth and death, I mean, it's continuous process. It's not, there's no birth and death if you go even scientifically, deep into that, right? So it's a beautiful concept if we contemplate on it. Shloka 20. परस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तो व्यक्तात् सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति. Let's see the Padavibhajana for this. Paraha tasmat tu bhavaha anyaha avyaktaha avyaktat sanatanaha yaha saha sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. Meaning of Shloka 20 here is, far beyond even this unmanifest, there is yet another unmanifest existence, that supreme divine person who does not perish even though all beings perish. Shloka 21. अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तः तमाहुः परमां गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. I'll chant the shloka again because I did a few mistakes. Avyaktoksara ityuktaha tamahuh paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Here ahuhu means like vyavahara, like how they behave, right? So that was the meaning here. Let's see the Padavibhajana also. Avyaktaha aksharaha iti uktaha tam ahuhu paramam gatim yam prapya na nivartante tat dhama paramam mama. The meaning of this one is, the same unmanifest which has been spoken as of the indestructible is also called the supreme goal, that is again my supreme abode, attaining which they return not to this mortal world. The next one here is Shloka 22. Purushassa parah partha bhaktya labhyastvananyaya yasyantasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. Yasya antasthani. Other than that, it is very similar. Let's see the meaning of this. 22. Arjuna, that eternal unmanifest supreme Purusha in whom all beings reside and by whom all this is pervaded is attainable only through exclusive devotion. Shloka 23. Agnir Jyotirah, Shloka 22. 23 is Yatra Kale Tvanavrittim Avrittim Chaiva Yoginaha प्रयाता यान्ति तं कालं वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ. The word split is very similar. Meaning of this is Arjuna, I shall now tell you the time path departing when yogis do not return, and also the time path departing when they do return. So I was listening to Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's like one of the greatest astrophysicists, right, of our century. I'm a big fan. So he actually tells in one of the recent commentary that I saw was that there are 100 billion potential total human species probably born, right now there are 7 billion, and if you say historically it could be that number. But if you see the genetic combinations that are possible, those are like almost infinite when genes are there, right? I mean, how many combinations are possible? Only a certain range makes it a human. So it is really a blessing that somebody actually got the form of a human and is able to actually see the sunset or sunrise or the beauty of earth or the universe. That itself is a blessing, because as the Bhagavad Gita says and all the spiritual teachings say, even scientifically, that combination, we could have been born as anything else, right? I mean, it doesn't need to be a human. So it's a blessing, right? I mean, if you think about it, even scientifically. Shloka 24. अग्निर्ज्योतिरः शुक्लः षण्मासा उत्तरायणम् तत्र प्रयाता गच्छन्ति ब्रह्मविदो जनाः. The word split is very similar in this case also. Let's see the meaning of it. Of the two parts, the one is that in which in which are stationed the all effulgent fire god and all the deities presiding over daylight, the bright fortnight and the 6 months of northward course of the sun respectively, proceeding along it after the death yogis who have known Brahma, being successively led by the above gods, finally reach Brahma. So in this path, um, the yogis finally reach Brahma. Shloka 25, which is describing the second path. Dhumo ratristatha krishnah षण्मासा दक्षिणायनम् तत्र चान्द्रमसं ज्योतिः yogi prapya nivartate. The word split is very similar here. Meaning of this is, the other path is that wherein are sanctioned the gods presiding over smoke night, the dark fortnight, and the 6 months of the southward course of sun. The yogi devoted to action with an interested motive, taking to this path after death, is led by the above gods one after another, and attaining the lustre of the moon and enjoying the fruit of his meritorious deeds in heaven, returns to this mortal world. So in this, they still go and obtain, and but they actually come back to the mortal world in this path. Shloka 26. Shukla Krishne gati hyete jagata shashvate mate ekaya yatyanavruttim anyaya vartate punaha. Ekaya yati anavrutim. Right? So other than that, anyaya avartate punaha. Okay, Shloka 26 meaning here. For these two parts of the world, the bright and the dark are considered to be eternal. Both paths are eternal. Proceeding by one of them, one reaches the supreme state from which there is no return, and proceeding by the other, one reaches the mortal world that is become subject to birth and death once more. So, one more time. So, Shloka 27, next one is Naite Sriti Partha Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. So let's see the Padavibhajana for this. Na ete sruti partha janan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarvesh kaleshu yoga yuktaha bhava arjuna. So the meaning of this one is, knowing thus the secret of these two paths, O son of Kunti, no yogi gets deluded. Therefore, Arjuna, at all times be steadfast in yoga in the form of equanimity. That is, strive constantly for my realization. Shloka 28, which is the last shloka of this chapter. वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव दानेषु यत्पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत्सर्वमिदं विदित्वा योगी परं स्थानमुपैति चाद्यम्. वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु च एव दानेषु यत् पुण्यफलं प्रदिष्टम् अत्येति तत् सर्वम् इदं विदित्वा योगी param sthanam upaiti cha adyam. The meaning of the shloka 28 here is, the yogi, realizing this profound truth, doubtless transcends all the rewards enumerated for the study of the Vedas, as well as for the performance of sacrifices, which is yajna, austerities and charities, danam, and attains the supreme and the primal state. ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे अक्षरपरब्रह्मयोगो नाम अष्टमोऽध्यायः. Thus, in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of the Yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, ends the 8th chapter entitled The Yoga of the Indestructible Brahma or Akshara. February 24th, 2024, Tigake.